10:04 on the fan, and a very good Wednesday morning to you. The midday show. Joe Beningo, Evan Roberts, 877-337-6666 is the phone number here at 1 o'clock CMB. Will come your way. Dolph Kramer, Ernie Acosta on the other side of the glass. And without any further ado, Boomer Esiason is with us. I'm bringing him in right now. I know he wants to get out of here. He's been here all morning. Well, what's going on with this disaster of a franchise
that I root for? It's not a disaster yet.
No, the franchise is a disaster. What is going on? No, they are. They've been running competently for 50 years. With that said, what are you hearing about the coaching search?
What do I hear about the coaching searches? I think Adam Schefter is right that Mike McCarthy would love to coach the New York Jets. I told you the other day as I saw you in the hallway that they had a great meeting.
Right.
Mike really liked Mike McCagnon, loved Christopher Johnson, really had I don't want to speak for Mike McCarthy. I'm just telling you what I think I know. And I think that he would love to be the coach of the New York Jets for one specific reason. Well, there's more than one, but the big one is Sam Darnold.
Of course. Sure.
And I think that Mike McCarthy is highly motivated to get back involved with the quarterback, calling the plays, getting involved.
A quarterback that'll actually listen, too.
Well, yeah,
throw the plays away.
Too. Yeah, he's not. You still have a kid that's 21 years old.
Right.
He's raw, he's green, and he's going to be respectful.
Right.
I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers wasn't. I'm just saying that this is a whole different scenario. This is Aaron Rodgers 10, 15 years ago, right?
Right. That's right.
So I would say that would definitely be the case, that Mike McCarthy would love to coach the Jets, and he's basically taken his name, as far as I understand, out of everything else.
Yeah, but why is it McCarthy not being interested or teams not being interested in McCarthy? Because he hasn't interviewed anywhere else. Which is it? Both?
I can't speak for Mike. I can only go by what, I know a little bit too much, but I don't want to really divulge any of that stuff.
Then just spill it.
No, I'm not going to. But I will say this. I think, again, Adam Schefter is right. He wants to coach the Jets. He was enamored, I believe, by the building, the facility. I think he loved the whole Florham Park area over there.
Right.
I know that, he has family that lives in Green Bay. These coaches make enough money that if they need to fly private, they go back home, back and forth from Morristown to Green Bay is easy. It's an hour and a half. It's nothing. It's like driving from Florham Park to Long Island.
Without the aggravation.
Without the aggravation, exactly. So I all of that stuff is great. What I don't know is I don't know what will it require to get him here. Meaning,
money?
No, it's not money.
Power?
It's do I have control? I think, of my 53-man roster. I don't necessarily know that he wants to make picks at the draft. I don't know about that. I don't know about, the relationship between he, McCagnon, and Heimendinger over there. And all I can tell you is that what you read this morning, I think, is pretty much true. I think that he would really like to coach the Jets.
Now, you mentioned the name here that I've been hearing a lot of, and this Heimendinger guy, okay?
Yes, Heimendinger guy.
Yeah,
yes.
well, whoever he is, okay?
Yes.
And for years, this organization has been littered with people that have no business making these kind of decisions or being involved in them that have been. And that's been a big problem with this organization for the last 50 years in my mind. And I'm not going to go through the people. Steve Gutman comes to mind. That's one guy, that I think about. He has no business in decisions on what's going on, and he's got a voice. What is the deal with this? Who is he? What spot does he have in the organization?
Well, first and foremost, the boss of the football side of things right now is the GM. It's Mike McCagnon.
Right.
He's the one that decides who they pick in the draft and who they end up playing on the field. And hopefully they do that in collaboration with whoever the coach is. And the last coach, I would say, because of the organizational structure, they may be on different paths. Todd Bowles wants to win now. Mike McCagnon's trying to win for the future.
Right, understood.
So there's kind of like a competing internal strife that is developed because of the corporate structure. I like the corporate structure myself of what they have in Chicago, what they have in Kansas City, what they have down in Philadelphia, where, there is a strong GM. He's making decisions, but he's the boss of the coach. That's not going to be the case here. So think about this. If you are on one side of the ledger, the GM side, and you have a direct line to the owner, which is good, which is what you should have. But you also now know the coach has a direct line to the owner.
Right.
And in this case, this is not, if it is Mike McCarthy, it's not a coach that comes in here that is a former coordinator and this is his first head coaching job.
Yes, correct.
So he now has the experience of how to run a franchise. He knows where the pitfalls may lie. And when he gets in there, is there a case where he may say, I can't believe you guys are doing it this way, and this is the wrong way of doing it? And does that create the strife now because of the hierarchy and the structure of the franchise? That's the only thing that I could think may run interference in all of this. So does an Adam Gase, does a Matt Rule, does somebody like that who comes in, are they going to be more likely to acquiesce to the GM side of things? That's the only thing that the structure
Which
develops.
is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm also worried.
It's ridiculous.
When the Jets fired John Idzik, I'm convinced a lot of it was because there was such a backlash against him from fans. You had the plane flying overhead.
Yes.
You had towels being handed out. Sports talk radio was endless, killing Idzik. And I think Woody Johnson listened. But I'm afraid they listen way too much, that they listen to writers, that they listen to fans.
Yeah, I want to get to that.
You got to be competent and make your own decision.
Yeah, you do. And, some would say, hey, be so confident in your decision that if you decide to hire a Cliff Kingsbury, feel confident about it.
Well, they didn't.
But
Thank God.
I know, but no, what I'm saying is that I'm not advocating that. I'm just
I
saying
understand.
some would say in their lives, like whoever is talking to the McCagnons of the world, whether it be Charlie Casserly or somebody else, their mentors are telling them things. So if you make a decision, live with that decision, go with it, feel confident about it. Or be careful hiring an experienced head coach because he may come in and want to change things that you're doing and the way that you've been doing it. Now, the cynic in me would say, well, that would be a good thing.
Yeah,
Of course.
What's wrong with that?
Of course.
They made the playoffs.
I understand
It's
that.
a no-brainer.
But it's also, it's you two, how long have you been working together?
12 years now.
Right. And you guys actually like each other.
Yeah.
You like working together. You get each other. You can
Right.
play off of each other's strengths and weaknesses. This is bringing a new person in a building, and you're trying to figure out whether or not you can work with that personality. Now, I would like to think that Mike McCarthy, in my eyes, is a go-along, get-along guy, that he knows how to build consensus, that he's going to collaborate freely and will try to bring the best out in everybody. And you would like to think that the general manager and the coach should all be on the same path to success, because that will mean they'll have all their jobs for years to come.
Right.
And I think a lot of that is going to fall on the arm of Sam Darnold.
Oh,
'Cause that's just the way it is.
It will. It will. But here's one thing that bothers the hell out of me, okay? You got these guys in the media, okay? All right? Meta obviously is one of them.
That's Manish, yeah,
okay?
sure.
That are bad-mouthing McCarthy, okay? For what? Only for their own purpose. Because let's be honest, a guy like Meta, he could care less if the Jets ever win. It's all about him. He wants, 3 years from now, let's have another press conference to announce the next coach, and it'll be the next general manager.
Well, maybe I would say this, and I talked about this on our show in the morning. Maybe Manish just wants to have the access that
of course.
It seems like he has.
Right.
It seems like somebody is saying something to him out of that organization.
No question about it.
Now, if a Mike McCarthy comes in, guess what?
Well, that's of course.
That all ends.
But here's something that gets me, and tell me if you agree with me on this or not, Boomer. And again, look, if the Giants were in the situation the Jets were now, I would think that John Mara, being the intelligent, real football owner that he is, would hire this guy, McCarthy, and it would be a nanosecond. It would be a no-brainer for them, okay?
It would be.
And the media, and here's the other thing, tell me if you agree with this, the media would be saying, they'd be praising him for hiring the guy. You agree with that?
I would think their media would, because he would fit the moniker of the Giants.
Right, which is let's win championships.
But that's why
How
I
about
thought
that?
But that's why I thought last year, when they fired Ben McAdoo, that Pat Shurmur made perfect sense to me. I could see him walking the Giant sideline and carrying the Giant flag because he just fits the moniker.
Okay.
Just like I thought Sam Darnold should have been their quarterback that they selected because he fits the moniker.
Right.
But I would say in this situation, part of being the Jet head coach, you have to deal with plugging those leaks. And that is something that
That's why.
I'm not in that building, so I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know why Manish Mehta wants to go out there and talk about all these young, dynamic coaches and all that stuff. That's not who. I don't believe that's who the Jet fan wants. The overriding Jet fan.
Yes.
Because we've had
Enough.
the unproven coach for 2 decades.
Over and over again.
The
same thing. And it never works,
And I think that's a part of what fans think. You think of our recent past.
You know when it worked? It worked when you had Parcells.
Yeah, because you had a real head coach in it and knew what the hell he
That
was
was the
doing.
last time they hired an experienced coach.
And he couldn't wait to get out the door either, which is another
I know,
thing.
but that's a whole nother story. But what did Parcells recognize that the Jets had when he took the job? He knew that they spent a lot of money on free agency the year before. He knew that they had a high draft pick, and he knew that all he had to do is sprinkle in a few of his guys, bring the discipline that is required
of course,
by a head coach, that they could immediately turn it around and win. And they almost go to the Super Bowl.
Well, that's
almost. Unfortunately, Vinny got hurt, and we know the story. We know what happened with Bill Belichick. I don't want to go down that whole road and that rabbit hole, but the thing is now I think the Jets are in kind of the same situation.
Of course they are.
Yes.
But now they have a young quarterback that they can build around. They have Jamal Adams, their personality on defense that they can build around. And I think what you need, just from my perspective, is somebody that has the credibility to stand up in front of 53 guys, all 53 guys, not just the offense, not just the defense.
Of course.
I need a guy that's going to, rally the troops here. And the thing that I saw about Mike McCarthy when he was fired, he was allowed back into the building the next day to say goodbye to the team. The team gave him a standing ovation after he spoke to them. Then he went around the entire Green Bay building and said goodbye to all those friends that he had known for 13 years. That you never hear about that.
That says a lot.
Usually when people leave, it's ugly.
Right.
Especially after 13
years. But
Boomer,
and all we're hearing about is ugliness between him and the quarterback. But there's 52 other guys.
Right.
And maybe that's on the quarterback.
And why doesn't and I hear like Kingsbury, all these different guys, he was with this guy and he was with that quarterback.
Well, that's what people are going to say positive things about people when they get jobs.
But here's what gets me nuts. I don't hear that about. All I hear about McCarthy is that he had this riff at the end, the only one Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. Gets no credit for 9 playoff appearances, 6 division titles. Gets no credit for being the guy that was smart enough to say, even though Brett Favre could still play, Favre is now done here, and I'm going to the kid. He had the guts and the smarts to do that. He gets no credit for that.
Well,
whatsoever.
I heard on this station with Jody McDonald. It was a Saturday. I think Jody was doing a show, and he had his buddy Andrew Brandt on. And Andrew worked for my agency way back when I was still playing.
Related to Gil Brandt?
No, but he ran the Packers when McCarthy was there with Holmgren and everybody else. I think it was Holmgren. And he was talking about Mike McCarthy and how he developed and helped develop Aaron Rodgers when he was, I think, the quarterback coach or the offensive coordinator.
Right.
And then when he ascended to the head coaching spot, just like you said, he was a guy that saw the talent in Aaron Rodgers, and they had to make a decision. So he was a part of all of that. And when I heard Andrew, and I know Andrew personally because he worked for me, and we worked together for a long time, and now he's doing his other thing. And he actually was running the Green Bay Packers for a while. He was in their front office. So he gave Mike McCarthy all these high marks. So you may be hearing some negative stuff from maybe younger Jet fans, maybe Manish Mehta, because he's afraid that he's going to get on lockdown here.
That's all
he did the same thing to Doug Marrone.
No, of course he did.
I mean, because he didn't want Rich Cimini to have like some sort of internal, pipeline
because of the
to the head
Syracuse
coach.
connection. It's ridiculous.
It's mind-numbing.
And this guy is pulling it off. I mean, who the hell is he? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
It depends on who's doing the leaking. I don't know any of that stuff, and I know that they are working. Just from my initial gut reaction to what Christopher Johnson's trying to do now. He wants to do the right thing by the franchise. He wants to do the right thing.
Then you hire the experienced
McCarthy.
guy.
It's no-brainer. It's really all about him to me, Boom. It's about him.
Okay.
It's nobody else. You got to forget the noise. You got to forget McCagnon. You got to forget Humdinger, whatever his name is. Heimerdinger. I know. His father was the late offensive coordinator. I understand that. I know who he is. Okay, you got to forget that garbage. You can't listen to some guy in the media that's got his own agenda.
They're not listening to the guy in the media.
But they did what they did before with Marrone. You got to get the right guy. I do believe it. You got to get Christopher Johnson. It's all on him. Wake up, smell the damn coffee. You want to sell tickets? I see these unbelievable commercials. They make me delirious, all right? Oh, well, look who's coming in next year. The Steelers are coming in. Sure, 50% of the building will have terrible towels. The Giants are coming in with all the Saquon Barkley jerseys. The Cowboys are coming in. Oh, my God, 75% of that place will be the Cowboys. How about we have real damn Jet fans in there for a change? Because we got a team that can actually contend for a freaking championship. How about it, Christopher Johnson? The hell with McCagnon. The hell with Humdinger. The hell with Manish Mehta. Get it done. Hire the right freaking guy for a change. And not some guy, the first-time coach, or Adam Gase, all right? Give me that nonsense, Adam Gase. That 3 years from now, 4 years from now, you're going to be in the same position again, except as I've said before, Boom, then there'll be 2 press conferences, one to announce the new head coach and one to announce the new general manager because McCagnon's out too. So enough already. I am so I'm telling you, Boom, I am so
I know,
disgusted.
but don't yell at me. I'm
not
making
yelling
a
at you.
decision.
I'm yelling at Christopher Johnson.
All right.
But the
I
good
love
news,
you.
But Joe, the good news is they haven't done anything yet.
Well, of course.
All they've done
That's why I'm yelling.
is interview a bunch of guys.
Right.
And it's become more frustrating because the guy that Joe wants, that I want, I heard G say he wants him, you're implying.
Even Fireman Ed wants him.
Everybody wants him.
God bless Fireman Ed
But
for
the
that.
best part is the guy that most people wants the Jets.
Right, he wants the job.
What a
How about that?
novel, what
Wait
a novel
minute.
situation.
He actually wants to come here.
Yes.
So get it
Yes.
done.
Christopher Johnson, let's go. Let's wake up and smell the damn
I know.
coffee.
So from the fan standpoint, I understand why you want him. I get it. It's 100%. I'm with you. But you also have to understand the internal things that have to happen in order for it to happen.
Well, Christopher Johnson has to overcome the internal things and say, this is the guy. No, it's all on him, Boom.
Yes, I get it.
He's got to say, this is the man who's coaching our team. Do you get it, Mike? Do you get it, Hummerdinger? Do you get it, Manish Mehta? This is the guy.
Hey, ultimately, he's the decider.
That's it. It's all on the owner. It's all on the
All
owner.
right, just remember, it's Heimendinger.
Heimerdinger. Okay, I'm sorry, Heimerdinger.
All right. But yeah, so
Sorry.
so the stuff that you read from Manish is, whatever. You could take that for what it's worth. All I will tell you is that somebody seems to be feeding him something. I don't know who it is.
Of course.
But I would also expect that if McCarthy does come in, a lot of whatever he thinks he has in terms of leaks and access,
He'll plug him.
it's going to go
Amen.
out the
And that's a
window.
good thing.
And that's
And
long
that-
overdue.
And this
Boom.
team needs this more than anything.
No question.
agree.
I'm right there with you.
Long overdue. Boom. God bless you, Boom.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, man.
Boom.
I appreciate
Yeah, I
it.
really appreciate it.
I appreciated me coming in here and having you yell at me.
I'm not yelling at you. You
Evan, how do
understand?
you do this? How do
But
you
I'm
do
not
this?
yelling at you. Do you
Okay.
understand? I'm yelling at Christopher Johnson.
I hear, but I was sitting here and you were looking at me when you were
because,
yelling.
but this is not you. I'm yelling.
Now,
at.
Boomer, I'm not going to yell at
Does
you
he
about this.
understand that? Does he know I'm
No,
not yelling at
I
him?
think he gets it. I'm not yelling at you, but I want to clarify something.
Yes.
All right?
Okay.
I never one time ever.
Yes.
I ripped him, but never one time have I called for the job of Kenny Atkinson. Hasn't happened. Have I ripped him? Absolutely.
I heard
Rightfully
you.
so.
I heard you when they were in the middle of like an
Yeah.
8-game
Eight-game
losing
losing streak.
I'm done. Get him out of here. That's what I heard.
never said
That's what
get
I
him out
heard.
of here.
You are such a front runner, Evan. It's unbelievable.
Front runner.
He's
I'm
not
there
a Net
every
fan.
freaking night.
How can you be a front
Well,
runner if you're
because
a
when they
Net
were,
fan?
because if you were to truly be a fan,
Front
like,
runner.
I am a fan of David Quinn, the Rangers
are you?
head coach.
Oh, are you, Boomer?
I love the guy.
Boomer,
Well,
I know because I've got sources in that newsroom.
Yeah.
Some of the things you were saying about this coach
taking
and this
some shots
team.
at David
not the
Quinn?
Four
coach.
games into the year.
Not the coach.
Okay.
Not the coach.
Gordon?
The team.
Jeff
Okay.
Gordon?
No, I like what they're doing. I was all on board.
Okay.
I knew this was going to be a tough year.
So-
now I'm like, with the Rangers, I'm like that with the Knicks. We got to continue to lose because we got to get one of these top two
You ready
players.
to start trading guys off? Zuccarello and these guys?
Hayes will be gone. Zuccarello
They're
will
free
be gone.
agents. They have to.
McQuaid
Yeah, I know,
will
I
be
know.
gone. I would, and the players are playing like it. They
Sure.
know.
Yeah, no, I know.
When with
Yeah,
the
I
trading
know.
deadline
You're right.
coming,
Right.
But just remember this, okay?
there's going to be 4 or 5 guys gone.
You and I are very similar. You may not want to admit this.
Well,
all right?
I'm a little taller than you.
You got that.
Yeah.
We're both left-handed, though.
Right.
We're
Yes,
both
we are,
left-handed.
we are.
But you are a
Also played in the
die.
NFL for a long time.
You cannot hit the curveball.
Oh, yes, I can. I can hit your curveball.
No, you could not.
Flat as a.
No, you
know.
gotta-
I don't
I
even
hit
know if
you-
I could catch a pass from Boomer anymore.
Oh, that I
He'd
can't
break
either.
me in half.
I get that. But you're a diehard Ranger fan. You watch every game.
I do.
And there's a lot of
Like
people
a lunatic. I'm up last night watching it all the way into
against
the third.
Vegas.
Yes.
God, that fight was entertaining. I'll tell you that.
McQuaid, at least we showed us a little fight there. Yeah, I mean the team is giving effort for the most part,
Okay.
but the last 4 games have been the worst 4
They're getting
games of
crushed.
the year because their schedule has gotten harder, and because I think they don't have the star power players to go against the other team's
Sure.
number 1 or 2 lines.
But you watch every game. So you're going to criticize things a lot of the casual fans don't see. I watch every second of every net game.
I get it.
Every criticism I had about Kenny Atkinson, I'll say this 3 weeks later. I don't think I was wrong at all. He wasn't playing Radonis Kruritz. Well, guess what? He's starting him now. So exactly. Get
That's the
hell
point.
outta
That's
here.
the point. So, but hey, good for your Nets, man.
Thank you.
Keep winning.
Keep winning.
doing what you got to do. We got to keep losing, and we got to get Zion Williamson, and then
Yeah,
we
no, I
get
know.
Durant here, and now we got something
Oh,
else.
yeah. No, that, well, don't worry. Knicks.
Or we trade Porzingis, and we get Thompson and Durant here.
Wow.
with
Oh, my
Zion
God.
Williamson and
How
Kevin
about that?
Look at this fantasy.
How about that?
Boom.
Yeah.
And how about this? How
Don't
about
worry,
the
the Knicks will
Giants
keep losing.
trading
Don't
up
worry
to
about
number 1 and getting Dwayne Haskins?
they
from
may
Ohio
have
State?
to.
Well, they could trade up to 3. We could talk about that, too.
Or if I were the Cardinals, I would trade Josh Rosen, keep the number 1 pick,
Whoa.
and take Haskins.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, they did fire a coach
How
after
about
1 year,
that?
so you never know.
How about that?
That is interesting.
That would be interesting.
That kid I'm telling you, man, he looks like he is the real deal.
Hey.
I mean,
The only thing about him, he's not real mobile. He's not
mobile. He's mobile.
You think he's mobile enough?
He's mobile enough. He's not mobile compared to.
He's not Lamar Jackson or
I think he's not even
more,
Donald. I don't even know if
closer
he's
to
Sam
Josh
Donald.
Yeah, he's not. I would say his game reminds me a little bit of Cam Newton, although I don't think he's as much or as mobile as Cam.
Yeah.
But you know what? Do you see the kid sitting in the pocket?
No, he could throw the football.
Every pass.
No, he could throw the ball.
And his
very
fundamental,
accurate.
he already looks like an NFL
Here's the
quarterback.
trade. I got the trade for the Giants.
Go ahead.
Jump up to 3. Here we go.
Okay.
You give us. We flip the number 1s this year. We'll take the 6th pick in the draft.
All right.
Okay.
You want to trade with the Giants? You want to give them a quarterback?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, well, that doesn't matter.
They gave us one. We'll give them one.
Okay,
All right?
sure.
I'll be seriously. That's how I look at it.
I
You
would like
gave
the
us one.
2022 Super Bowl between the Jets and the Giants. Sam Darnold, Dwayne Haskins.
I don't want to play them in the Super Bowl. Because it'll be all about them. No,
Yes,
it'll be all
you
about
would.
them. It will be but it'll be all about them.
But
I
you'll
want
make
the
it- you'll
spotlight.
make it about the Jets.
I want it spotlight on our team, not them.
All right,
Okay.
okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you.
But that said,
Okay.
I would make. I'm a nice guy. We flip flop the number 1s. You give us
Right.
the number 2 this year and your number 1 next year. Deal done. We don't have a number 2.
You don't have a number 2.
Right,
You want
this
a
year.
number 2 now.
You know
And
what
a
I
number-
would do, and Joe wouldn't do it. But we'll flip 1s. Give me Beckham. We're fine. Let's go.
I don't want
it.
Beckham. I don't want Beckham.
I don't think Sam Darnold needs him.
No, I don't want Beckham.
But I
either.
will say this: think of Haskins, Beckham, and Barkley.
Yeah,
Just
good.
think of that.
God bless them. Good for
Think
them.
of that explosive,
Yeah.
just unbelievably energetic.
Yep, and go out there and beat all the teams in the AFC East next year except the Jets. And I'm good.
Right. I'm just telling you. Well, he would be a rookie quarterback, so it'd be some
He
strong.
may not play right away.
Right, well,
but I agree with you. They have to trade up. I don't think
They
they're
do.
getting them at 6.
They're not
I don't think
getting
there's
them
any
at 6.
shot of that.
Because you got Miami, you
Yep.
got Cincinnati,
Yep.
you
Jacksonville.
got Jacksonville,
Yep.
you got a
Yep.
lot of
Yep.
teams with
Yep.
a lot of draft capital. And by the way, if I'm Arizona, I may think about trading Rosen and drafting this kid.
It's interesting because if you've had him
That's
in the
their
room.
problem.
You've had him in the room for a
Problem
year.
to have, yes.
You've had him in the room for a year.
You know
If
him.
you've identified that he's good, but we like this kid better, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Why not? Why not?
Why
Take the
not
better
is
player.
right. I will say this, that Haskins seems like he's got the personality, he's got the stature.
Giant fan.
He's from
And he's
Jersey.
a
I didn't
Giant
realize
fan.
that.
Yeah, then he went to school down in Washington,
D.C., right?
I thought he was going to go to the University of Maryland, and then I think when they fired Randy Edsall, he backed out of his commitment to Maryland and went to Ohio State.
Interesting.
I tell you, your buddy Frank Reich's doing pretty good.
He's doing great, man.
Unbelievable.
Hell of a job.
Yeah.
Hell of a job.
Guy doesn't curse, doesn't raise his voice.
Is that right?
Doesn't scream and yell. He's connected with his players, and he's lucky. He's got a PhD at quarterback who
He does.
came back healthy.
Yep.
And, everybody talks about, this guy, that guy. Hey, the thing about Andrew Luck, he doesn't take any sacks. He was sacked like 16 times this year.
Unbelievable.
You know,
what a change from 2 years ago, 3
Yes.
years ago.
Doesn't run nearly as much.
Somebody's former, like Jim Harbaugh, former quarterback who turned out to be a pretty good coach. Reich, former quarterback, turned out to be a pretty good coach. How come you're not doing that?
Because I don't. Those guys are methodical.
Right.
Those guys.
Right.
I'm impetuous. I'm impatient. I could not
Right.
coach. I have a hard enough time coaching my own men's hockey team.
Is that right?
Plus, you get to work
lunatics on
here.
that team. I'm screaming
Well,
at my
also, that's true.
I
You
got
got-
a son
plus-
with CF. He's 27 years old, and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs at him. I can't even imagine
Well,
how
you
this
also-
generation of player would actually react to me. I don't think it would be very
and you
good.
also, let's be honest, you got a tremendous job on the NFL Today. You got a tremendous job here in the morning. What the hell you need the aggravation for?
That's exactly right.
No, I'm saying
I
that.
create aggravation.
There
I
you
don't
go.
need the aggravation.
Think about
That's
this.
it.
You've been here at this station for over a decade.
Yes.
There's no
Is it
way,
that long
no
already?
offense to your coaching, you wouldn't have lasted a decade anywhere.
Right.
No
I
one
would have
does.
lasted a year.
Exactly.
I would have just had I would have had a nervous
Then I would have
breakdown.
had to be killing you.
Or something. You would have. Yeah. Well, you did that. many
Well, when you
years ago.
play,
It's okay.
when you
Yes,
play. But,
that's-
but I look back. I got to say this. I look back outside of the Spike game. Okay, outside of that game,
Okay.
which will live in my brain forever. Okay,
yes.
All right. You threw that pick to who was that defensive back? He was the head of the Union. I forget.
Troy
him.
Vincent?
Vincent, that's the guy. You were up 24-6, but I'll try to get over that.
that was Philadelphia.
No.
Was it with Philadelphia?
No.
No.
It was
another one.
The Philadelphia was Eric Allen, who ran 99 yards the
Yeah.
other way,
And the
that
officials,
was right.
The
and-
officials didn't call the cut block
Right.
on Johnny Mitchell's.
Right. Johnny Mitchell, who actually had a good game that day.
He did, had
That
a
was the
great
best game
game.
he ever had.
Yep.
And then you had the stupid kicker Blanchard, who couldn't kick a field goal in Buffalo, where you would have made the playoffs.
That's right.
But again,
You're not holding any of that thing.
I
I
don't. And I won't even hold against you the game in Houston because you never won in Houston.
Hey, by the way, I did take you to the Indianapolis playoff game with the Jets.
I love you.
That was
all
right. So
do I have you in here today? Do I love you?
Yeah, I guess you do.
But you
just
understand.
have a very strange way of showing.
But you understand where I'm coming from.
Yes, you're passionate. You love your team.
This is my team, and the clock is ticking. I'm 65 years old. I'm not 35 anymore. I don't have another 30 years to wait for a Super Bowl again. So this time, that's why I am so adamant about them making this move to McCarthy.
They got to get this one right. They got to keep the
have
fluid
to.
to the top.
All right,
You know what I'm
Brody.
saying?
Yes, Brody.
What was the word there?
They got to keep the fluid to the top.
Oh, is that Brody?
That's a Brody line, yeah.
That's a
Okay.
Brody line. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Boomer, thank you
You're
very
right.
much.
Everything
sir.
else is good?
Everything else is good. Great
How's
to see you
Gio
guys.
going? Gio's great.
Awesome.
He's one of the greats of all
He
time.
does the greatest impression.
I know
of
he
you.
does. I know.
Have you heard it?
Oh, yeah, many times.
Do you hear it on the air?
I've heard it on the air, yeah.
So what is it? Do you like how it sounds?
Yeah, it's
or no?
fine.
I always wonder how when
here's
people
what-
get.
Boomer,
Look,
there's a difference between Joe and everybody else. Joe doesn't care.
You think I care,
These
Boomer?
others
No,
are
but
very
I'm saying
sensitive.
you either
I love
say
Gio.
that's spot on or that's not on. I think it's spot on.
My
He does
feeling-
you better than Francesa.
Here's my feeling, Boom.
Yes.
What do they say? Imitation is the greatest form of flattery?
Yes.
Okay.
Purest form.
Brewers, whatever it is.
Yes.
And I love Gio. I go way back with him. Used to be my producer at one time. I knew he had talent out the wazoo. I
Yep.
knew there was no doubt. I'm so happy for him. There's no doubt. He could say whatever he wants. I don't care. Do you think I care about this?
I don't
They
think
can say
you do.
whatever the hell they want about
I'm not
me.
asking if you care about it. I'm just asking if you think that his impression
I think
of
he's
you
great.
is spot on.
I think he's great.
Is that how you sound in your
Yeah.
own ear?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you
I'm a
hear him
lunatic.
doing you on the radio, you say, "Man, that guy sounds just like me."
Yes, I do.
That's good. I like it.
He's
It's
one of the
it
greats.
is spot on.
It's spot on.
I think the Mike one may be a snudge better. A
I know
smidge better.
the way he does his R's and the way he finishes his words and the way that
Well,
Gio does
bangs the
same
table
thing that you
too.
do.
He's
Yes.
got all your mannerisms
Does he?
down.
Yes.
It's pretty
Oh.
impressive.
He's a lot better looking than me, and younger.
And he's lost a lot of weight.
Yes.
I know. I see that.
I think he's thinking
That's
that
because he's got a kid now.
It's not only that, but now he's a celebrity now.
Yeah, he's on TV
yes,
every day.
that's
It's a big
true.
show. He goes to his place out in Brookhaven, Painters. Like he walks in there like he's the man.
Where's that on the island?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, he is the man. He's
he
hosting
is.
mornings with you.
When he's on the South Shore of Long Island, man, he is like the king. Out there.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
King G, good for him,
Yeah,
man.
right.
He
Land
deserves
of,
it.
above ground pools and PVC fencing.
How's the golf game?
Not very good right now.
It's because you're not playing.
Well, I did play a few weeks ago, but
In Florida?
No, out in California.
Oh, okay.
But I just, it's just awful.
Which Pebble Beach, Torrey
No,
Pines.
No. Yes,
Okay. How is Torrey Pines?
awesome.
Yeah.
Hard and awesome.
Yeah. No, well, hard, of course. There's no
Yes,
doubt.
yes. So.
All
All
right.
right. Well, listen, guys.
Thank you, man. Thanks
I'll
for
let you guys
coming in.
Get back to your normally regular scheduled program.
Boom.
you, sir.
All the love. Thank you for taking the time.
All the love, Joe. I love
right.
it. See you guys.
See you.
The great Boomer
There he
Esiason. The even greater Michael Irvin will join us at 12 noon. I kid you. I kid you. Michael will
You
join
didn't
us.
hear that from me, Boom.
I'm playing with him. Oh boy. We'll
Yeah,
get to
right.
we'll get to the coaching vacancies that have been filled, the latest on Mike McCarthy, the NFL playoffs, and your telephone calls. 877-337-6666. The midday show till CMB at 1.